This is
A test of the emergency broadcast system.
This is only a test.
DJs and MC. This DJ, he gets down.
Listen to this jockey's introduction to
Two DJs and a mic with your host, DJ Mike.
Is that a timetable?
And DJ JP.
Well, get on it. It's your time.
Give me the mic.
all right, guys. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Two DJs and One Mic. We're in 2025.
Yes.
First and foremost.
Yes.
And we're in our new location.
Yes.
New location.
Yeah. New studio.
Yes. And we're blessed to have DJ Kyle in the house with us tonight, all the way from somewhere close to us.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
Well, how you doing, Kyle? We want to thank you again for coming in, but how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Mike. Thank you guys so much for having me on. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys.
Did you not forget your introduction?
Yes, I know. I'm sorry. You know, I'm here with myself, DJ Mike, and we're here with the nice guy, the nice one,
What?
DJ JP.
Really? Really? Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Hey, it's the new office. I'm so, filled with, just.
Yes. Okay. Whatever.
Bliss.
Yeah. We're going to let you ride tonight. Whatever. Okay. I can't believe this guy, man. He switches it up. He got me this time, but we get it. We get it. Yeah. So, you ready to jump into this with Kyle? Anything you want to ask him before we get started when we jump into this show?
Well, we just want to thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. It's been an honor, and we're just ready to dive in and just have some fun.
Well, let's do it then.
All right. Your journey began in the choir and classical music. How did that early experience shape your approach to DJing?
It kind of really defines a lot of my approach to DJing, honestly, just because the way I feel music, the way I interpret music is completely from my classical background on it. So when I'm hearing a phrase, I'm no longer counting music. I just kind of feel when an 8-bar happens on it. And then just the kind of the way I hear harmonies or the way I hear certain things coming in and out, I hear melodies and counter melodies and just kind of making things flow in a different way.
I like that response, and I'm glad that you answered the way that you answered, because I've had this conversation with some DJs, and we talk about mixing and how it's like, well, yeah, I'm counting this and that. I'm like, well, I don't count it. I feel it. It just happens automatically for me. But I've never really put a true definition on it. I don't have the background that you have, but I played in the marching band. And, we had the marching band and the concert band.
Yep.
But I'm the same way. I just kind of feel it, and it just takes place. I feel when the break is coming and so forth.
Yeah.
So do you think that's from your training?
That is from my training, just because I understand how to explain it now because of my degree in music. Is why I can explain it. Because there's a certain pattern that music has with it that basically defines where that feel is. So when you listen to it, you start recognizing patterns. That's what we're picking up on. Music is nothing more than just repeated patterns and just making stuff, sound nice to our ears because of those patterns for it. We like patterns as humans with it, and that's kind of the fun about it. It's like when you kind of start understanding those building blocks, you can really start messing with people in fun ways.
So if you take out something that they would normally expect, or you do a song like Old Town Road where you put the bridge or something in front of it, or the end or the chorus in the beginning, and flip that whole thing around, and just that might be why that song really caught on, because it was so different. It had things in different places. But I mean, sometimes I kind of felt a little jealous there, because I played drums a little bit, but I didn't play in the band, so I don't have any training. No, I'm just saying, no, because I really wish I would have got some of that training. And like you guys, well, I really kind of have a concept of understanding music. And mine is the field too. So, I mean, nothing like, I don't mean it like that. I just mean,
I know.
I just sometimes wish I would have joined the band. But when my high school basketball coach, he didn't.
He was a basketball coach.
You had to play. He wouldn't let us do too much of anything else. He only want you to run track and stay safe and play basketball. So he said no band. Yeah. So.
Not enough activity.
Well, I don't know. He just wouldn't let us get in the band because it's so quickly, you pick like the band to do with like some basketball. So, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and it's just good to hear Cal explain it, because I haven't really, like I said, I haven't defined it, and hearing you say that was like music to my ears, and even when you talk about patterns, because it is, for me, I automatically, latch on to the pattern and kind of build from there. But it's nice to hear that. Have you had any situations where, or have you been in a situation where someone is asking you to teach them how to DJ?
Yeah, actually. So, like, I taught a bit with my former company. I was like one of the head trainers with them, and then from there, basically, I'll have friends or I'll have other people that I meet that I'll teach every now and then sometime later this year, I'll actually be officially teaching at a DJ school.
Yeah, I know that. What's that hat you be wearing? That company? See, yeah. The DJ school. Okay.
Yeah,
I like that.
Well, right now they're going through some rebranding and getting some stuff figured out for the year, so we'll have some exciting news come February.
Okay. Congratulations.
Cool. Congratulations. Yep. So I'm gonna keep jumping on to these questions, and Mike did a lot of research. He said selling Cutco knives in high school is an unconventional start. What entrepreneurial lessons did you get from selling knives?
Oh man, so that taught me a ton. Basically, it taught me scripting, sales, marketing, taught me basic human relation communication skills, how to build rapport, how to really kind of get into things with a client. Because Cutco stuff's not cheap. I mean, we're talking $1,000 knife blocks.
What was those vacuum cleaners they used to try to sell to everybody?
Kirby's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Kirby.
Yeah, it was a young lady called me not too long ago trying to sell me some knives, and so I'm like, really? I don't need no steak knife like that. But I mean, it definitely teaches you something if you're out there hustling. If you learn to talk to people at a young age, it'll go with you a long way. You have a conversation about anything, pretty much.
When did you realize, what it taught you?
So that wasn't until, I had inklings kind of just as I was going through high school with it, just because like stuff my friends would be like super excited about, or really proud of like their accomplishments of work. Like I'd be super supportive, but I'd be like that's nothing with what we. Because I remember one week my friend, he was so proud. He got a $300 paycheck for his 2 weeks of work part time, like good money. That was all. 2010s stuff's like pretty good for a high school student. $300 in a 2 week period, busting his butt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm great. That's proud for you. He's like, what? I'm like, man, I made $500 an hour last week.
Wow.
Selling knives?
Yeah.
Wow. So were you pretty good at it? You sold a bunch of them?
Yeah. When I finished up with them, my career sales were right around 100K. Ran an office, was part of the fair and show team.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty good, man. I like that.
Yeah.
Cal knows knives.
Yeah, Cal knows knives. Watch out for Cal and knives. All right, keep it moving. Go ahead, Mike.
So you mentioned about your dad selling mixtapes. You know, how did that connection inspire you?
So I actually didn't find out about that until way after I was DJing.
Oh, wow.
With stuff. Because so my dad, like, he always made mixtapes. We always listened to stuff for the car. Like, that's kind of where I got a lot of my music knowledge from and my appreciation. Like, we typically listened to 60s, 70s, 80s rock. Or we had a lot of pop. Like, we had the whole gambit of, like, top 40s. Just across everything we always played. Like, I still remember to this day one of my favorite tracks is Edwin Starr's Happy Radio. Like, it was one of the hardest tracks to find.
Wow.
With it, but like I love the heck of that disco track. But I only found out that he actually made those a couple years ago. For it, he was doing them for the college radio station. And so that's kind of, I think, where like some like subtle seeds of like the way I program and the way I create set lists come from. Just because listening to my dad's order and the way he put stuff always kind of made a sense.
So how does he feel about you and your DJ career?
At first, he was like, okay, well, let's see where this goes, but he loves it. I mean, it provides for us. It lets me have a really interesting life and enjoy myself with my family, but also lets us be able to connect at odder times with everything, because he works 9 to 5. Mostly he lives out of the Metroplex. So he'll come in every now and then for like a work thing he has to do once a month. So like we can catch a lunch or do something. And it's just able for us to be able to connect.
Is that one of the things you love about DJing, the freedom?
So that's just being an entrepreneur in general. Like I've always loved the entrepreneurial schedule of we can wake up. Like I just had lunch with a colleague today at 1:30. It's like what business lets you have a lunch at 1:30? Like, well, we get to skip the rush. You know, we get to go in and just kind of, you know, make our own time. We still get everything done, but if you can play outside the regular rule book, it's great. I love grocery shopping at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah, I do too. I like going to Target at 10 in the morning when there's nobody in there but me and the
employees.
Somebody, and it just but we still have to have that drive to get up and do what we need to do, and every day, we go to lunch at 1:30, 2 o'clock, but still we need to still have that drive to get everything done that we need to get done in a day. And got to be a great self-starter. That's one of the great things about this.
Yeah.
So I want to go back a little bit. So what made you get into this? When did you first decide, okay, I want to become a DJ?
So that is where the fun begins in this whole journey. So I was finishing up my college career. I was a tech and composer for my college theater program for that year. And I was teaching music on the side. And I was needing to find other gigs. I just, I got my degrees in audio engineering, live sound. So I'm like, okay, let's find, some live sound gigs. I want to do stuff in music. And I saw this ad for a wedding company being like, hey, we're paying like $300-400 a night, which for an audio engineer, that's pretty decent money for a night's pay. Because typically audio pay, you're expecting closer to like $200-250. So it's already above average. So like, let's give it a shot. And then from there, I ended up falling in love with it. And they fell in love with me on it. Because I thought it would just be like a part-time, like couple times a month. It ended up being a full-time gig.
Yeah, well, if you're good at something, people are definitely going to keep you working, brother. Trust me. They're not going to let you run away. They're going to keep trying to take advantage of you. So you just decided you kind of fell into it. Mr. Kevin Pitts, the legend himself, mixtape, extra money away into jobs back in the day. Yeah, I bet he got some mixtape from hell.
Yeah, this Mr. Pitts, and I have to call him Mr.
Yes.
Because, Cal, if you ever get the opportunity to meet this gentleman,
and sit down and have a conversation with him,
he's done some things that will make all of our heads spin. He was what? Was he mixing VH tapes? Video tapes?
Back before they even came out, man, he had two VCRs just going for. Then he got to the platinum disc. So Mr. Pitts was out there, man.
Yes.
He was out there.
Yes. He's an entrepreneur.
Yeah, he is.
He's a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah. All right. So switching from business major to music major was a bold move. What pushed you to go to a music major?
Yeah. So left that. I would love my money, hated my life kind of thing. The age old epiphany that people have. I just had it way younger. So I went to college. I'm like, I know business. Let's just do business. I hated it. Everything was boring because I already knew all the stuff. / just like nothing was really challenging at it. So I took a random voice class because I was like, okay, well, let's get back into music and just have something to make me motivated to stay. And I ended up getting asked to be in the school's opera that year because somebody fell out.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of reignited my passion for music again. And it's like, okay, well, let's be a full blown major. Like, let's go ahead and do that.
Wow. So, but does that little bit of business or the business that you have, like, does it help you in your entrepreneurship as a DJ, owning a DJ company?
Yeah, I mean, like the accounting class actually helped the most.
Yeah, you got to be able to set those goals and expectations and know where the money's going, what's working, your ROIs, your debits, your credits, your debits, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and how to keep a balance sheet. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, counting one and counting two. Hated them, but it's a necessary evil in life if you're gonna know where your money going. Yeah,
you got to.
So I want to know where my money going.
So moving right along, Cal. So what was it about auto engineering that ignited your passion and made you read a textbook voluntarily? Because I know how you just kind of spoke on some things a little bit, previous. But what made you do that? What was it about it that actually made you do the impossible?
I know, right? Someone voluntarily reading a textbook is a kind of a crazy statement to make. I'm not entirely sure what caught me with it. Basically, I was getting ready to transfer to UNT, and my vocal coach had like a real talk with me and sit down like, hey, this is gonna be your career. This is what it's gonna take to do this career. This is what this job is for it. So I sat and mulled over on that. I'm like, I don't want this job. Like, this is not a job for me. Being a professional vocalist full time like that. It's like just like what it took to do that sort of work.
Yeah.
So I already took like some like random like audio electronics courses. Like I've always been very science oriented with it. So I'm like, okay, let's try audio engineering. Like, let's just see. Bought the textbook, and then it just hooked me. Just the concepts of science, sound physics, the concepts of acoustics, and like how we capture everything, how like everything just works for it. Like that really ignited the passion.
It is so amazing how some of us get drugged into it, and how music in so many different ways just ignites a passion into you, or just dealing with the equipment and things like that. It kind of just ignites something in all of us and makes us want to dive even deeper into it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it made it good. No, there was like we'll have a guest speakers come to the college every now and then. One of them was an up and coming producer. And I'm talking like big producer. Like he hung out with guys that made Usher, the guys that made Jay-Z, Kanye. Like he was getting to the upper echelons of the field. And it's like you can be good at a lot of stuff. You can be great at a couple things, but you got to pick your one that you are the best at, that no one else can beat you. And you got to find out what that one thing is. Like, what is that one thing that'll drive you to the ends of the earth that you're gonna work at perfection on? And for me, that became DJing.
Wow.
That is a very deep statement. And it's true. You have to find what you're passionate about, what you love. Like you say, what you're willing to, go to the ends of the earth for.
Yeah.
And to hear you say that about DJing, knowing where you came from, that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people, how many people running around here acting like they can sing and want to be singers, or acting like they can do this and do that.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Do you get the same feel from singing that you did from DJing or hitting a mix or seeing a crowd reaction? Do you get that same high?
Yeah, I get that same performance high with it, because doing singing, I did plenty of like solo with like just me and the piano, but I was also in plays and operas as well. So doing character work, doing just stuff on stage. You might be hearing my daughter in the background.
No, she's good.
Yeah, just let you know. But hearing all that, so it's very similar with it. It becomes less about a high, and I more enter a flow state with it.
Wow.
Because I think you guys can experience it too. I think most DJs hit this. At least I hope they do. Otherwise, I feel like I'm gonna be crazy. We'll be going into a set. About 10-15 minutes in, I'll be like, I'm burning through too many songs too fast. Oh no, I'm gonna run out of music.
Yeah.
And then it'll magically be like an hour and a half later.
Yeah. Or you'll forget, how did I get here? Or,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, because you dive in and it just starts to flow, and you just, and your head is racing for those next 3 songs, and you just in the mood, and you're just driving, and you're like, okay, dang, now, man, so I really need to slow it down because they look like they about as tired as I am, but it's just, it's crazy how that happens, and am I gonna have enough? I don't want to play all the hits too early. And like you said, an hour and a half later, you're in there, thicker than,
You still in there.
Yeah, you still in there and just having it good. But I just wondered if you got the same, thing.
Yeah, I feel like I get a better, I feel like I hit a better flow state with DJing. On it, just because I'm not as worried about the technicals.
Yeah.
I'm not as worried, but that also might just be because I put a lot more time into DJing, into my refinement on that. Like, I put a ton into singing, but that's a never-ending process. DJing can be argued as a never-ending process, but the reality is we do 3 things, and that's it. On it, you hit a button, you pull a fader, you pull the other fader. Really, our jobs can be very, very simple. Like, when we break down what we do mechanically.
Now, don't make it. Are you trying to make it sound simple? But it's a lot more to.
No. There's an art to it. There's an art. There's an art form and a science.
Sliding that crossfader from side to side and hitting that play button.
Well, correct. Well, that's doing all that crazy
but
stuff.
You're right. It is very simple if you have the skills, but if you don't, it could be some train wrecks in that slide across.
Oh yeah, but I think my simplicity comment is not out of it's out of Phil Morris's book that he wrote, because he's like we can do all the crazy tricks, we can learn all the skills, but there's one thing that matters and only one thing that matters. It's what song do you play next.
Wow. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what tricks you have. I mean, the best example of I know of this is Andy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't do big tricks or anything crazy like that. Like, he's typically just making songs come up next is having a really good flow, real good follow up, and real good crowd work.
Yeah.
With it, and he's one of the highest paid DJs in our area.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's just doing the basic and reading the crowd and feeling the crowd and getting them to the next song. But
and it's just amazing. But when you look at it and you break it down, you have these different characteristics, or not even characteristics. You have these different things that we do as DJs. And one of those things is, when you're playing for your crowd, can you read the room and play the right song?
Yeah.
And if you're good at reading the room and playing the right songs, then if there's other parts of the skill set that you don't have, that will mask that.
Yeah.
And it's not saying that you shouldn't learn that, but it's easy to get caught up in that. And I bring results by doing what I do. I understand people and I understand how to play music for them. I don't know how to scratch, and I'm okay at mixing, but I know how to play the music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's the big thing is having that musical forefront, like, because when we talked months ago, whenever we came up with those 7 things, like, that thing I was harping on was musicality.
Yeah.
If you can make things sound musical, if you can tell a story with what you're doing, all the technicals don't matter anymore.
Yeah. It's a musical journey. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We have a question for you, Cal.
Yeah.
Here's a question from our studio. Our audience. Studio.
How you doing, DJ? 2-seater DJ Chris. He said, "What is your biggest challenge as a DJ?" Good one.
That's a really good one, Chris. I'll give 2 sides of it. with it. One will be more kind of music, and that for me, my biggest challenge is finding my next song.
Why?
Because I always want to try to expand my sets, or I want to try to find new music or things that excite me. But there's so much music and there's so much out there, it's hard to find it sometimes.
Wow.
Especially like as mobile DJs, because like we all play the same songs a ton.
Yeah.
You know, so how do you set yourself apart? Well, we play songs that aren't played a lot, or we played songs that are maybe tangential with it. Because like right now, we're in the millennial generation getting married.
Mm-hmm.
So what's big? So pop punk, nostalgia stuff from the 2000s. That means Disney Channel stuff. That means just like random little things that people wouldn't normally think about. But like I sprinkle into my sets, or I try to find ways to add other songs in that maybe aren't always played. Yeah. Because like Jonas Brothers is big right now, but I don't like doing what the heck is it? What Makes You Beautiful? That's like the big played one. I played Year 3000. Year 3000, like that's a sneak hit. That's the one everyone discovered them with, but no one ever talks about it or plays again.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you do have to dig in the crate to try to find something that'll set you apart or do things different. And I will give you credit. First time I heard you play, besides the contest that you were in, when you did that not open house, but the networking event up at in.
I'm Kenny.
Yeah. And I mean, he dropped some tracks. I was like, man, I haven't heard that in a long time. And you know, I was like, okay. And see, sometimes I think we're afraid to explore because we feel people might not accept it, so we kind of stick with the norm. But
yeah,
you went out, you got your box, you kicked the side of the door of the box out, and you went to other areas, and it was really cool. So I was like, so now I do it too. And me and Mike went, where did we go to? We heard a DJ, and he really went outside the box. He was like, I wouldn't have played that. I wouldn't have. But it was
at downtown. I mean, Green.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we said, okay, so now I kind of go a little bit, I'll dig or find something, or I'll say, okay, I want to squeeze this track in this week because I know this couple or somebody might like that. So, I mean, you know, and always tracks to me, the best tracks that I get is from bridesmaids because it's something that meant something to them in college or somewhere along their friendship. And you may never think about playing it, but it's a good one. But I like that.
That is like one of my best examples of music selection have been from my clients.
Yeah.
Hands down. Like I always find like one or two tracks from clients every now and then because I used to actually just get a whole playlist from them. Where like they would just have stuff I was just like, okay, I just need to tweak this a little bit here and there. Like this is a really good start for like some ways I wouldn't think of like combining music. Like there was like a millennial country set that someone basically kind of made. It was like good Texas country combined with like 2000s nostalgia hits, which like it's like okay, that's an interesting blend, or just like it's more out there stuff. Like those were my favorites.
Yeah.
With it, but following up to Chris's for my part 2 of that question, the hardest thing about DJing is time management.
Because you mean on the job or away from the job?
I mean, just in general, just being like the life of a DJ.
Yeah.
Because we work odd hours, we spend hours and hours and hours prepping stuff, creating things, running a business, and then you still got to have a family, you got to feed yourself, you got to, hang out, network, hang out with friends. There's a lot of hats we wear and a lot of stuff we do. So it's really important to remember. It's like no, we got to be structured. We got to be like more structured than a regular 9-to-5 person is. In all honesty.
Like I said, you got to have self-starter. You got to know when to cut it off. You got to know when to. There's just so many things when it comes to this, and just being able to, you got to know when I need to recharge, or and know you got to get a quality time to wifey, to your daughter, to your doggy, whatever it is. You just got to know when to. Okay, I need to set it down for a little bit and recharge and just give me some new time. All right, go ahead, Miguel.
All right, let's see here. So composing music for plays during COVID sounds challenging.
Wow.
How did that experience shape your creativity?
Oh, that was, hands down, that was one of my favorite years of music, period.
What made it your favorite?
So the challenges and just the sheer scope of it. That was back when I was playing piano like pretty proficiently, and like in all my studies, and I had this massive synthesizer on me that I basically took, and that was kind of the key to me being able to create my sound, because it was Yamaha Montage, and basically the gimmick behind it was they had this macro knob that could let you change between settings seamlessly. You could actually assign it to a foot pedal. So I could be playing a piano and then suddenly it starts fading in a huge organ on it. And you can have this really cool musical control. So first show was a retelling of A Christmas Carol for Christmas. But they did it in the style of Citizen Kane. Particularly the scene where they're like interviewing everyone about Kane. So all the actors were set up in their own pods 6 feet away from everybody. We had a central hub with 4 cameras and then an audio feed to me for all their mics. And then I was watching the actors, listening to them perform while composing the show and running the soundboard. And doing it. So creating motifs, coming up with concepts for that was really fun. It was a great taste of everything. But the best one was our second show, which they were all radio plays.
Oh, wow.
For it. So I had to teach actors how to do sound work and Foley. Like we ran like an actual radio station. So we had a week where every single day we would broadcast for an hour. We would have a one shot, and then we'd have a continual series after that. Wow. So you had to tune into every single broadcast in order to get the whole story for that one. But those were so radically different. One was like a gritty New York detective. One was a female San Francisco detective, a lot more upbeat. One was a horror murder mystery. One was a comedy. And then we had like our general, then Johnny Dollar was our serial. Like these are all like real radio plays that happened.
Wow.
With it. So I had to teach people Foley work, how to actually like make sound effects, because they were all on stage. Like we did this like we were doing a real shop. But then that was during the ice storm.
The COVID ice storm. The Ted Cruz ice storm. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Come home, Teddy. Come home, Teddy. But,
yeah.
Man, I mean, you just had a very interesting career. A lot of good man.
Yeah.
God.
So what made that more interesting was because of that ice storm. Somehow the theater wasn't affected, so we were able to go in. The rest of the school was shut down because of burst pipes and stuff. We got special permission to do the show, but we lost like over a week of rehearsal. So I couldn't give the director and the actors the timing for all the music. So we actually, I talked to the director, and our best bet was they put me in the pit, and I ended up directing the show from the pit like they would in an old day, kind of with it, where like I'm playing the music, cutting off, cueing the actor to go for it. We would do like a little radio jingle, you know, 100%, you know, I'm playing, go, you know, change sound effect, cueing footsteps or whatever the heck they're doing in the Foley lab behind them. Like, it was this crazy show.
And you gave this up to become a DJ?
Gave up's a strong word. Gave up, like, that was a part of my career I loved, but very much a just, you know, it was a part of it. It wasn't where I was meant to be staying.
Yeah. And it probably helped you tremendously, but go ahead, Mike.
No, I'm being told that we have some static in the line.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. I think that's, I think that, Jay, I think your mic's hitting your neck or something.
Oh, okay. It's probably me.
Okay. So that is a good one, what you were hitting at, but I want to kind of hit that even more. To me, it's really amazing knowing your backstory and how, you know, you got this tug of war in DJing. One, out of all of the different things that you have done musically, you selected DJing as what makes you happy. And that is, you know, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Because, well, let me ask you this. Was it about the money or was it about the artistry?
Well, considering I was being paid about $400 a wedding, it definitely wasn't about the money. When I started with it. No, it came out of a love for music and figuring out that all of my just kind of things I've done over my career combined into this one area. My audio engineering prowess, my musicianship, my stage presence, planning timelines, like kind of setting things up, like all of this was from everything I've done in the past, just in a different format. It's all combined into one area.
Wow. I mean, it's really, it's cool sometimes to hear the different journeys to how you got there. And some people just jump in. Some people it's really, but your story is, I mean, I heard it the first time you told me about your college days and all that stuff. And Mike, he was talking about acoustics and this and that. And I was like, wow, some of these guys have some interesting roles. I just fell in love with turntables. I wanted to be a DJ. Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't have the acoustics, the Mozart education, but I mean, I love it. I love that story, man, and how you fell in love with it and did it like that. But wow,
it's really beautiful though, Jeff, because when you think about it, you take Cal, you take some others that came to this in the way that they came to it, and we're all here.
Yeah.
And we're all contributing.
Yeah.
We all, you see these correlations. You see how, okay, man, I think the same way.
Yeah.
And how people can appreciate what you do, no matter where they came from.
Yeah.
Because my first time hearing you play was at the DJ contest.
Yeah.
I was like, I said, I like that. I said it, I said, he's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
In the I think it was the second show. After the show, we were sitting there playing around. You was playing something. I mixed in some things, and we were having like a DJ orchestra.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, y'all had fun. That was
yes.
I mean, but it's great you can do that. We need to do more of that in the community where we have just jam offs. Just show up, somebody put up a set, and you just play. Take turns. You got 1 minute 30 seconds to get a track in.
You just started something. We got to do it.
When I started, that's what we did. We would have you bring your records and
we used to do back to back.
And I love back to back sets.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite things of all time. Back to back.
Yeah, but just having fun. What's up, Keith? Canada. I know it's cold in Canada. It's cold in Texas. It's just cold in Canada.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about how cold it is.
Well, you can think about it because we get it next week. 15.
Next question.
Yes, go right ahead.
Go ahead, Jeff.
You went from zero DJ experience to performing 237 events in 3 years. What was the steepest learning curve for you? Wow. 237 in 3 years, but that was all when you were with that other company, right?
Yeah.
Before you became wow. God.
Either way,
but hey, you know what?
Thrown in the fire
and getting better. So I mean, you can either use it as an opportunity to get better or stay stagnant in a bad place and just give the people the minimum. So what was it? What was the steepest learning curve for you?
The steepest learning curve is getting started. Like just getting getting the confidence to be doing the MC work, getting the basic skills. Also, Keith, 15 degrees. No, sir. Take that with you, please.
We're removing you from the screen.
Woo! Hey, y'all say that, but we're gonna have it next week.
I know. I'm not looking forward to it. So jumping back, it was trial by fire with it. Like there was a little bit of training, but there was also the company sold contracts, we had to go kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really many expectations besides just don't mess up horribly.
Mess up horribly. Okay.
Yeah, because they're expecting mistakes. Like no one outside of our boss and his right hand had DJ prior in the company.
So were they training you guys?
They were, but the company was selling contracts faster than we were necessarily ready.
Yeah.
On it. So, so there was scripts for MC work. There was hey, here's basics of how to mix. Here's your library, kind of set some stuff up. Here's some crate templates with stuff. But then from there it was, hey, you yourself, you got to put an effort.
God,
to get this stuff.
Were you having an assistant with you, or were you just doing
solo?
Solo. Wow. And you had to do ceremony, cocktail hour, and reception.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
When you look at that number, it looks like you're calling out a flight, a plane.
Flight 237.
I know,
So
right?
how long in that number do you think it took you to feel like you could call yourself DJ Kyle? Sertner?
Oh, to call myself DJ Kyle. Ooh. I want to say it was somewhere.
When do you think you were a legitimate DJ in that 237?
So legitimate DJ. I think it was somewhere around wedding 60.
Okay.
It is when I really kind of felt like the switch flipped for like kind of have my swag when it came to how I present stuff and talking with people. My mixing skills were pretty clean at that point. I wasn't making like weirder choices or like a lot of stuff got figured out at that point. Like I was taking a lot of coursework on my own through just various DJ schools online, just kind of learning just basics or seeing other DJ stuff and reverse engineering their mixes to kind of give myself ideas. And that's kind of really what started, was keeping that composer mindset during this whole thing of, hey, how do I create music? How do I create shows? So building mixes, building pre-mades for a cocktail and dinner, and just kind of working my butt off at that point. But I had the luxury of, having, hey, you have 10 weddings this week. Oh, not this week. You have 10 weddings this month, so you're not going to do anything but DJ. It wasn't, I was having to have a 9 to 5 on top of that and then try to get the licks in. I was spending hours on my deck every single day. Getting better, working on stuff.
Do you think doing that many events in that short a period of time, if it was someone else, should they be better?
Oh, 100%. I mean, well, I say that, but I've seen plenty of people, that were in that company that they didn't have the drive. They didn't want to improve. Like that was.
So what was the key to you getting better, or getting to where you are? We've heard.
So it was personal drive, 100%. It was the drive to want to be better. Because I pretty early on, I kind of had this idea of I want more out of DJing. Like I want to give a better kind of show, a better kind of DJ than what we have for it. And then that evolved into be a better class of DJ. And then from there, now it's all about making magic with it.
Was it a money driver or was it a cow driver? I mean, was it personal or was it, if I do better, I can make more money? Or what drove you to want to be better? I mean, want to become a better DJ?
What drove me to want to be better was my musicianship, 100%.
Okay.
It was just me being a music person and viewing this as an instrument, not as a way to play music, but as a way to create music. That was a huge driving factor on me. I mean, because at that point I was still just out of college. Like money's important, but I was paying my bills, so I didn't care outside of that at that point.
Wow.
With everything, like I was married, but I didn't have a kid or a house or anything yet.
Go ahead, Mark.
Well, I'm just saying, the question you asked, and the interesting part of that is someone like himself, the artistry is going to always be at the forefront.
Well, I didn't think about that with him.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I know, but I'm just saying it's going to always be about the art, because you, like we were talking about earlier, you just can't unlearn something.
And it should be first in all of us anyway to want to. Man, I watched I got sucked into the Avicii, I'm Tim, Netflix show last night. And from the beginning, I'm not a DJ, I'm an artist. That was his thing. And I mean, but he was a DJ that was an artist. And just, how his, like you structure music, I hear this or I hear that, or I would add this to it, and just, man, that was a good documentary. But I still say DJ AM's documentary is the best. Everybody needs to watch it. If you haven't watched it, watch it. He became my favorite DJ just watching that, and I never heard him play, but just looking at that was just greatness and the love and the passion and the creativity in the music. But yeah, so I'm glad it's more about that for you instead of something else. But I understand, I'm of course money is there, but if it's more about me getting better because I want to be a better artist, or I want to give my clients a better this or better that, then that's what it really should all be about anyway.
Yeah. Well,
and if you do that, you know what's going to happen? You're going to make more money.
Well, that's the thing with it, is I've always found in my personal journey, anytime I try to go for money, I never get it. But anytime I make it about I make it about a thing. I make it about service. I make it about performing or a product. Then the money follows with it.
Wow. I like that. Go
I
ahead.
have a question that's totally off script.
Okay, script.
Yeah.
Wait, we have a script in this podcast?
No, we really don't. No.
We don't.
We just ask questions that burn in our souls. That's all we do.
Yeah. So with your background, did you ever at any point have a problem with being shy?
Oh yeah.
How did you overcome that?
As
an artist and as a DJ?
So being shy, and I still struggle with this, like to this day. I always have these, you always have those little things that pop up on it for it. It's not necessarily being shy with it, but that's definitely, I think, the result. It would be, it's a fear of messing up.
Mm-hmm.
With it is what that shyness is basically kind of is what's showing, and that's what it's truly hiding. I think in a lot of people with it is that they're afraid to show their true selves, because when you're performing, when you're being an artist, you're not doing anything but showing pure expression from your heart and soul. And when you're doing that, you're exposing the true you to the world for it. Like teaching music, especially teaching vocalists, like that is one of the most intimate activities you can do, is sing for somebody, because you are showing your true expression, your true feeling to somebody with it. So getting people to be comfortable, and myself too, because every time before I go and make my first announcement at a wedding, or about to get behind the deck and go for a huge show, I always take that moment and kind of breathe and be, give myself a little pep talk, you got this kind of thing. And then there's this, there's this little thing called something I got from my college guide. Where is it? The Advanced Improv Practice Guide from Ronald Miller, 1991. But basically, it is this little practice prayer that he came up with for like jazz guys to do before they do a lab session.
Could you share it with us?
Yeah. So first one is your affirmations. How fortunate am I that in this life I'm the one who's been allowed to create beauty with music. It's my responsibility to create peace, beauty, and love with music. I'm going to be kind to myself. It's only music. No matter the level of my musical development, how good or bad I think I play, it's only music, and I'm a beautiful person. I'm not comparing myself with colleagues. If they play beautifully, I'm going to enjoy it and be thankful and proud that I'm a member of their brotherhood. There's always going to be someone with more musical abilities than me, and someone with less. The reasons to play for us, contribute to the world's growth, contribute to my own self-discovery and spiritual growth, to pay homage to all the great musicians, past and present, that had added beauty to the world.
Wow.
Love it.
Like this huge thing. And like I always go back to this anytime I'm like worried about stuff. Like this lives on my home screen.
Well, I guess because he was reading he probably knows it. But can you drop that in crosstalk?
Yeah. Where can I drop that?
Well,
you can drop it I'll drop it on Face. Yeah,
drop it for me. Yeah,
please.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I love that. Thank you for sharing that with us. So moving right along, what is the most memorable or unusual event you've DJ'd, and what did you learn from it?
Okay, so that's 100% my favorite wedding. So small wedding, I think 50 people max. We were at an inn for it. So like the reception was in like the dining area that they had ready for reception. Outside was for ceremony. But then we had this torrential rainstorm come in just out of the blue. So I had to scramble and get the gear inside for that. And then they tried to save what they could from the florals, but like outside was not possible. So they had to scrap the entire inside, all the chairs, decorations, chargers, get those all rolled up, set up chairs for ceremony in this little space. And I remember the bride and groom, they were just the most happy people in the world.
Yeah.
Like, they were not stressed about it. They're like, okay, yeah, we can do that. That's fine. They were just super nice, super caring the whole way. And it ended up the bride, her recessional song was actually one of my like favorite songs to sing personally. Then it's like a little bit odder a song, so I ended up doing that for her recessional. At first, they all thought I was just recording, which I was like honored by. Like to my own horn. But like, I remember that because there was this moment on the bride's face where she's like, "Oh, he's lip syncing," and then she realized that I was singing. She was like, "There's like this like moment of like, oh my god, for my wedding kind of thing." Yeah, it was this really, really cute moment.
Yeah, you melted her like butter.
100%. But then the fun thing at it was we didn't have dancing for this wedding, because they played board games.
Oh wow.
So they broke out board games. I shot my lights up into the ceiling. We always did like a Vegas casino night kind of thing. And it was just playing just tracks they loved. Everyone was singing, having a great time. Like that was one of the happiest couples I think I've ever seen.
Wow. I mean, and they don't all have to be these jamming parties. They just it's the picture that the couple paints and what they want. But we always want everybody, 500 people with the tubes and then somebody with the shirt off, the thing wrapped with the tie around their head. If we don't get that, we feel like we didn't do it. Because I did a wedding. It was all, they walked down the aisle and that was the most they did. And it was all religious movement. Nobody got out their seat. They sat and talked for 4 hours.
Yep. I've done one of those.
I did a wedding that the music was as loud as our speaker. And when I went up a little bit,
yeah. Oh,
there was no dancing.
Oh wow.
No, okay. I had one similar to that. It was a Russian Orthodox wedding.
Oh man.
I was the only person that spoke English there.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, we do some really amazing things. And at the time, we don't think it's amazing. We think man, I can't wait for this to be over. But really and truly, you need to cherish each and every moment and just enjoy it and say, okay, today I get to play this wonderful religious moment, and they celebrate the way they want to celebrate. It's not about how I want them to celebrate, but it's how they want to celebrate. So yeah, man, God, that's wow.
All right, Jeff.
All right, you got a few more. You mentioned networking is crucial now that I see you at everything. How do you approach building meaningful connections in the DJ industry? Or do you want to say DJ, or do you want to say the industry? The industry. Give us the DJ and then give us the other side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the DJ industry stuff, like it's crucial, I feel, for every DJ to be connected, with the bigger whole. You're not going to get along with everybody, for sure, but you're going to find the people that you like to be with. You're going to find the people that share your kind of vibe and what you're all about for it. Because as DJs, we're typically solopreneurs, right? So if you get sick, if you get hurt, who's going to cover your gig? Well, no one, unless you have a network, unless you have a group of people who you trust, who can kill a party just like you can with it. So like there's a survival aspect that comes with that, but also there's a growth aspect. I'm not the DJ I would be if I didn't get to meet you guys, if I didn't go to Kick Around, if I didn't, show up to all these different things I've been doing. Because I don't get to see, because I don't know what other people are doing. Like, I live on my own isolated island.
Yeah.
For it. Like, I was with a big company, but that company was isolated from the rest of the world. So I only knew what was going on there. I didn't know what was going on outside in the greater expanse of the Metroplex.
Do you think that has made you a better DJ, Kyle, or a better person by doing the networking?
It has. Like, it's made me a lot more self-reflective on the way I approach stuff, and how I want to be seen with it. Because I just went to NACE this past month, and like I had this moment of just like, oh, I'm the little fish in the big pond right now. Kind of thing, because I had all these like great people. I know a lot of them, but they were just these massive companies, that are all there representing stuff for it. It's just recognizing just truly just how small I am in the greater scheme of it. For it, like, because that humbling experience reminded me, it's like, hey, we still got a long way to climb with that, humble and hungry mindset.
Humble and hungry.
Humble and
hungry. I like
that. Yeah, and it seemed like it gave you a better appreciation for what you have and what you want to get.
Yeah, for sure. From where I came from into this kind of bigger industry, like I definitely like it just because we're about service, and they want to give great service, but it became more of a sales focus kind of idea with a lot of their stuff, and more of just like I was kind of playing Band-Aid for a lot of things, making the couples like happy and all this kind of stuff. Like that's really what kind of sharpened me a lot, was a lot of stuff with the company as a whole was causing problems with brides, and then I was just randomly assigned to brides. I didn't get to pick who were with me.
Yeah.
So I just get to meet them, and then I have to, in a single 30-minute to hour-long meeting, convince them that I'm going to be their best friend and that the world will be great because I'm here.
Wow.
And DJing their wedding kind of stuff. So, so I had to deal with a ton of people of different backgrounds, people that would normally never hire me.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. But that's where I got to learn. That's where I learned a love for a lot of music.
Yeah, you got cast into the fire.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100% trial by fire.
Yeah.
And I just, thankfully, I swam instead of sank.
237. That's what I'm gonna start calling you now. 237.
237.
In the building. He's in the building.
DJ
237.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. But man, that's incredible, man. God. But hey, you learn, you got it, and some people don't come out on the other side. I'm sure y'all lost a lot of DJs that didn't come out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, a lot of people got chewed out, chewed and put out, for sure, with it.
Put out.
I mean, DJing is not for everybody. A lot of people like to think they're DJs, just like,
Say it again, Cal.
One more time, real loud.
A lot of people like to think they're DJs with it, but it's just the same. But just because barrier to entry is now so accessible, which is great for because I can spend $200-300.
No, sir, a little higher.
No.
Maybe
No. You can get a cheap computer.
No, you got to spend at least $2,000 to get a decent setup.
No. We're talking about
setup. You're talking about a decent setup.
No, I'm talking about you need a nice laptop, that's going to be more than $200-300.
Yeah, but here's the thing: most people already have a laptop. Most people they already have a base computer.
You got a laptop.
They got a phone. They got an iPad.
You don't need a laptop because the DJ app, like you can do it on your phone now. With stuff.
If y'all stop making excuses for this.
You know this.
but that's my point, because so we saw this in audio engineering. Everyone's becoming a music producer, right?
Yeah, just like everybody's a videographer and a
exactly, because cost of entry super cheap now, and everyone's always had the dream of doing it. But once they get into it, they realize there's a lot more to it. Like I truly believe everyone can be a DJ. I believe everyone can be a musician. Like that's 100% in my heart. Of it, like it just, how long will it take you to get it?
Now, contrary to that, I don't believe that.
Hey, and
not
that's
because
fair.
they can't. Not because they can't. They won't.
And that's kind of that was kind of my point of like the time thing with it. Like I believe everybody can give it enough time, but everybody's time is different.
And not only their time, their desire, their why.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it? And sometimes when you find someone that's doing it because of money, sometimes the skill itself gets compromised.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there's a great quote I always like to kind of remind myself.
Another quotable from Cal.
Another good quotable. Okay, DJ Mike, how do you spell love?
Love.
Time.
Because in order to love, you have to give time. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. You want to show me what you love? Show me where you put your time.
Wow. I like that. We're gonna that's gonna definitely have to be one we pull from this show.
Yes.
But
agree.
To be respectful of the doggies and your little daughter's time, we're gonna try to get it all in an hour. So the last question: leaving a stable job to start your own company was a huge leap. What advice would you give others considering a similar move?
So you're not going to have all the answers.
No.
Basically, you want to make sure that you're in a stable enough place to do that. To be able to provide, because when you leave, it's you, yourself, and yourself on all that. So it's making sure you have a game plan in mind. So have a marketing structure, have a CRM, have all your ducks in a row, and stay for as long as you can. Because the whole point is to get the ball rolling. The reason I think I was able to jump as fast as I was because I knew in year 2 that I wanted to leave, that I wanted to go on to be bigger and better things with this. I was starting to outgrow with what the company was kind of wanting, and just kind of outperform those around me.
So did you have a mentor or somebody to help you with things, or did you just take from all the knowledge that you had got from working from that company?
A lot of it was knowledge I've got from that company. I just like I'm part of a bigger young cat.
Why does that make all of us laugh? Thanks, Keith, but that's a good one.
That was perfect, Keith. Oh my God.
But
his timing
is impeccable. But
like that is comedy, is timing.
Yeah.
But basically, making sure I had your ducks in a row. So I didn't really have a lot of mentors with it. I have a mentor in the church. Like he does franchising for a living.
Oh wow!
Finding people franchises or getting franchises to franchisees kind of thing, and he's been doing that for 20-something years.
Wow!
So he's kind of helped me with a business mindset. Like the biggest, what was it? The E-Myth. Phenomenal book on business.
The E-Myth.
The E-Myth.
Who's the
writer? Yes. Thank you.
So the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber.
Michael Gerber. Okay.
Yep. Try to get light reflection. There we go.
No, don't worry about it. We'll get it.
Yeah. But like that's a phenomenal book on entrepreneurship and just kind of setting up a business and how to be a successful business. Because you have to start with the end goal in mind, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people start with where they are. But in business, you got to be 3 steps ahead at all times, right?
Yep.
With
Always.
it, so so the end goal for a business is to be able to sell your business. For a lot of times.
Is that one of your well, you probably don't have any end goals right now, but of course.
No, I do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you do.
No, I have my end goal. So my end goal is like eventually I want to be a multi-op. For sure. But like full on, 20, 30 years down the road, kind of, when I'm done DJing and doing events and stuff, I'll probably retire doing teaching, or end up, I might end up, selling my ownership of the company with it, because that should be the goal, is to build something that you can sell and it will continue on without you. Is what a lot of businesses. Like me, myself.
You got equipment damage
like
over here.
Me, myself.
Yeah, and I'm going to steal Mike's question because he usually asks this question. So, for our final question, what is a gem or one of your things that you live by that you would leave our audience with? Something that you would share with them that it's a Kowler, a 237. Like that.
Ooh, another 237. Man,
We're on the air, Cal.
always say yes.
Always say yes.
Always say yes.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. But that's how I've got a lot of my stuff, and how, like, one of my big gigs I have is doing the Galleria Christmas show every year.
Yeah.
I had that before I was a DJ. And the only reason I got that was because I met the owner on a church retreat. He was losing an audio guy. He knew I was doing audio stuff, and he's like, "Hey, can you do my show for me?" I was like, "Yes." Because when do people ask us to do things? 6 months before an event happens. 6 months before the thing is.
Yeah.
For it. So I knew I had time to figure it out, but my teachers hammered that into me. Was, if you're ever presented with an opportunity, what do you say? Not, I'll think about it. It's yes, because you'll never get that opportunity again. So you got to be ready. You got to be prepared. Because I have stories upon stories of people that I know from the gigging industry and music, where they're like, "Hey, this famous artist in town, do you know his tunes? Great, you're going to be his bass player for this concert."
Wow. And like Mike, one of his favorite things is, you say you're ready, but are you prepared?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Preparation.
Wow. Well,
prepare to say yes.
Prepare to say yes.
Prepare to say yes.
I'm a selective yes. I'm sorry. I just can't say yes to everything no more. That's what gets me in trouble. So, yeah, I might do. I think I did 112 last year
Very nice.
by myself. So, I can't say yes all the time no more. I done got older. Yep. So I'm gonna cut it down to maybe 1 and 11. But Kyle, man, we thank you for coming on with us, hanging on. This is the new studio. We're gonna get some stuff up here on the wall and different things and everything. But this is our first show. We just getting moving in, so we're gonna we'll get you back in, get you in the hot seat, put you in the middle, and we'll chop it up again. But man, we thank you for getting to know you. Mike, you got anything before we get out of here, bro?
I just want to thank our sponsors for making this happen for us. You know, we have our platinum sponsor, well, Curator Live. The best, photo booth and 360 software that you can find. We have eStarts, one of our great sponsors that make wonderful products.
Yes.
They have so many updates that you'll never get to the end of the update.
He probably got another update right now.
He does. Right now. As soon as I said that, an update.
Can't wait to see him in Vegas. But
NFL X professionals,
any
EV,
equipment, anything you need. Yeah.
We love our sponsors because without them, this would be so much more harder for us to do.
Jetpack. Yes. So, you got your jetpack. Yeah. See,
young Kyle in the building. 237.
Yeah.
We need to put that on the back.
We changed it. Yeah. But everybody, we got some great sponsors and a lot of great people out there that take good care of us. So, just to mention a couple things, we're headed to NAMM next week. First time going to NAMM, we were invited, so we're going out there to see all the new stuff. Can't wait to see those new QSC things, those new QSC speakers. The new EVs, whatever is new.
Y'all be ready. We will be live in the building.
We will get to touch it and tell you about it.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm going to keep a camera on me because I'm going to get lost.
No, you're not.
I'm going to get
He's
lost.
going to have a taser collar on. Come back, Mike. You're too far away.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to Max, PBX in February.
Yeah.
And then just the whole year of events and different things that we're going to travel to. But those are the next two that's coming up. So y'all be on the lookout for the material. Next week is the pre-NAMM show.
Yes. And in February, we have a huge announcement.
Yes, huge
announcement.
Huge.
That will take place at Mex.
Yes, on the 17th of February. Huge. Yes.
Shoes are bigger.
Yes, shoes are bigger. But, man, again, thank you for coming on. Thank all of our wonderful sponsors, and we will see you guys next time. Can you take us out of here there, Miguel?
I'll try.
All right.